Hello bonsai friends, it's Lee with Lee's Trees, and today we're going to work on this Cotoneaster that I picked up back in July or at the end of June, and we'll give it a little turn for you. I've got it precariously balanced on this little thing here to get it all in frame. As you can see, it's got a really long tail to it here. So I was originally looking at this as a cascade, of course, and looking at that as most of the front, but I'm actually going to be changing that up some, so this will eventually be my front here. That long tail will become our right side. This will be the back, and what will be the left side, but I'm actually going to get rid of this whole piece here and back to the front some. And I'll try to zoom in and see if I can get you a little better view on it here. Alright, I've zoomed in a bit. I'm just going to put my hand here for some scale. It's not that thick. And again, that would be our front here, the right side, the back, and the left side, and back to our future front. For some reason, I've got this image in my brain that cascade trees and this branch is supposed to have this sweeping dragon-shaped tail to it. And I don't know why that is, because when I look online at different types of cascade trees, whether they're junipers, cotoneasters, different types, I don't see that very often. And so that's why I've decided not to use this as a cascade style tree, and I'm actually going to do something different with it. We'll get started here in just a moment. I'm going to reset the camera angle again. Alright, I have zoomed in as close as I can get, and I'll try to bring this in a little bit closer here without dumping too much of this off. And as you can, I don't know if you can see or not, but when I look at this really closely, there was not, other than these two here, there's not like another branch there. So that bend grew naturally, just like that. It wasn't that it broke off and split and then went down. It just made that curve. That's one of the reasons I picked this one out, because I really like that. Like I said, I was originally thinking of it as a cascade style, and it still might end up becoming somewhat of a cascade. I know a couple of things real quick. There's a couple of roots here more towards the surface that I won't be needing, so I'm going to go ahead and get those out of the way. And just before I brought this in here to start working on it, I did pill it up, put some fresh soil underneath it, and sit it back down in order to get it up to the top, so I didn't have to cut the top off so that you can see me working on it. And like I said, this in my design that I'm thinking of, I have no use for, unfortunately, so it's going to go. We'll cut it back here, and then we'll come in and cut it in closer. Took one big branch off already. And I'm going to go ahead and clean all this little stuff off the main trunk line. There's an old stub there. A few little leaves. Some stuff back there. I do have a big root in the front here, but we'll deal with that in the spring when we find a pot for it, hopefully, and repot it at that time. And now, my main thing is to put some wire on it, and I'm going to grab this really big wire because this is not very flexible, and I really don't need all that much. Now my plan is basically to try to put a bend in here and bring this up that way. And I know I can do a lot of that. I could, when I adjust it in the pot, but I really want the bend to be in the trunk. So let's see if we can get that in there close and get that anchored some. Here we go. Getting that first loop is always the hardest because there's not a lot blocking the wire to keep from spinning it around in the soil. And as you can probably tell, this is aluminum wire. Can't really afford copper wire. Too worried about coming up over the top here because I'm not too much putting a whole lot of bend into that. Now again, the way I plan on doing this, these will end up being straight down, so we don't have any use for those. And now let's put some bend. I'm trying to put some bend in the wire and not the trunk. And hopefully the trunk, so it looks like it's twisting a little bit. Let's see if we can get that to square up a bit more. Uh-oh, spam. Okay, where were we? That wire's not very tight against the branch right there, but that's okay. I'm not that worried with that part of it, but we can, just to be more professional, do that. Okay, so again, let's put a little more bend there, a little more bend down there. So what I'm looking at here, hopefully you can see this, is it looks like it's starting to go that way, and I wanted to try to stand it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so that's where there was some like little pieces of leaf there. I'm not scarring the trunk too much. Hopefully I don't have my head in the way too much there. Let's see if we can get a little bit more bend there. Okay. Well, you know, they always say you want your tree to come to you a little bit. So as I look at that from what I'm expecting to be my front, it is coming to me. And again, when I put it in the pot, we could always adjust the angle that way. And so now we need to think of what we're going to do with a lot of that. And do we want to bring this down any? And I might want to. But as flexible as that is compared to this part here, again, we can do that the next time we work on it. But seeing as it's getting into winter and we've had a few cold days already, I've had a day down below freezing already, a few mornings in the 30s. and I mean low 30s. We're not going to do too much work on our Cotoneaster. I can probably think that I don't want that coming straight out at me. I'm not sure. I'll probably end up having my first branch start up in here somewhere in time. But for right now, we're going to let all that continue to grow. We're going to let that continue to stick out. Okay. So how are we looking here? Wow. Okay, well, I wish I'd have looked at the camera before I did a lot of that work, because it looks like you might have missed a lot of it. But this is where we're at. That's my new front. Again, that will be the left side, the back, and the right side, and back to the front. And I just put this one piece of wire on here and put that bend in it, and I was looking at possibly bringing that down some again in the future, but I don't know if you all saw any of that. I wish I was looking at the camera more. Here it is, our Cotoneaster, so we'll put it back outside. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.